popo thing is water paper, but this motherfucking Grey Goose, baby.
It's time. Your triple bogey, long shot parlay, full send degenerates at a place to call home. Look no further. It's the D-Gen Podcast.
What is good, everybody? Welcome back to the D-Gen Podcast. I'm your host, Wayno Wagyu, alongside my fellow co-host, Mikey Rom. Finally back in the studio, not on Zoom, not doing it alone. We are back. It feels good, Mikey Rom. Before we dip into the podcast, though, let's not forget this podcast, D-Gen Podcast, presented to you by Ballers Life Bets. Go to the Ballers Life Bets Instagram, TikTok, you name it, they got it. Everything on social media, sports bet related. And now they have a Discord. You can go pro. And by that, I mean every plus EV bet you could want. Cappers galore, great community. Again, you name it, they have it. Go to the App Store, download Discord, sign up for Ballers Life Bets for just $1 a day. Mikey Rom. Week 3, NFL is here. We're here. Jay Fine in the studio.
Yes.
Finally feels good to be back for real.
Yes.
What is good?
Yeah, football season in full swing. Happy to be back in the studio. Feels like home. You know, the Zoom, it's not the same. I know we had a bunch of shit going on. You got some big life news. You know, it's just going crazy. But, yeah, I mean, I'm fucking getting crushed already this year. So hopefully we can turn around week 3.
I went 8-6 last week, solo dolo by myself. So
okay, pretty good.
I will give myself a pat in the back. I wasn't fully locked in. Head was in another place. But, you know, as long as I feel like the first 4 weeks, as long as you can be above 500, you're doing pretty good, because at the end of the day, it's really hard to get a grasp for where teams are at, what they're going to look like. Clearly, it's been a very shaky start for some teams. And
Very.
Yeah. So that actually brings me to this first part of the episode. Not going to dip straight into the lines. I actually have a list of 2-0 teams.
Okay.
And 0-2 teams.
I like this already.
And I want you to tell me which 2-0 teams are the real deal, aren't pretenders, they deserve to be 2-0, and vice versa for 0-2. Who should we not be hitting the panic button for, and who should we really just already count out? So we'll go through the undefeated teams so far. We have the Chargers, Steelers, Texans, Vikings, Saints, Bucks, Bills, Seahawks, Chiefs. Which of those teams, if any, do you think are believers and which ones are fakes?
So, fraud alert right away, Saints. Okay. They've had a historic offense these first 2 weeks. No. They still have Derek Carr. They still have a stupid coach. They will end up 500. They're going to end up 500, but I think it's better than a lot of us thought. But they're going to come back down the earth. Same thing with the Vikings. Like, I love Sammy D. I love the resurgence. Kind of frauds, too.
I love Sam Darnold.
Dude,
I feel like he's this year's Geno Smith. Everybody wrote him up, but he didn't write back. He's actually kind of got a little bit of edge, a little chip on his shoulder, and I fucking like it. He has all the weapons around him.
It's crazy. Like, he reminds me of Kirk Cousins in so many ways. Like,
that's not a bad thing.
No, but I don't know. I think they're frauds. As far as like teams that are real deal, I think it's the usual suspects, right? Like, obviously the Bills seem to be okay. Josh Allen, I know there was a big doom and gloom about Josh Allen at the beginning of the year. Like, oh, is he not as good as we think? Like, can he not, win the big games? Can he not, lift his team up? He's clearly doing that this year. It's a different team, but he's still doing the same thing. So, yeah, biggest frauds are definitely the Saints, and I think the Vikings.
I think actually the Steelers are extreme frauds. I mean, obviously Mike Tomlin every year wills that team to be a decent team.
Yeah.
But at 2-0, I'm not going to hop on the bandwagon of saying they're going to be a contender in playoff contention and all this other bullshit. I do want to touch on now the 0-2 teams. I'm going to run down the list, and you're just going to simply let me know if we're hitting the panic button or not on these teams.
Yep.
Broncos.
I mean, panic. Panic.
Panic or give up.
If that's an option, give up.
Yeah,
I mean, we all knew they were going to stay.
I'll let you just tell me what you think right off the top of the head.
Bo Nix is not an NFL quarterback. I think we all knew that. I think everyone in the world knew that except the Broncos. So good job, John Elway. Great work.
Titans.
The Titans, I think, are good. Like, I feel like the 2 losses that they had are like bullshit losses, honestly. Like,
both side note, actually, I mean, I didn't want to get to this too early.
Will Levis is a problem. I will say him throwing the ball like with 2 hands backwards is like weird.
Twice to the bonehead. Yeah, he's a fucking idiot.
Figure it out, dude. But I think he will figure that out. I think the coach straight up came out and said, I like this out of this coach. He's not afraid to call a dude out. Like, I don't care if he's young, he's the quarterback. Like, don't hurt his feelings. Not like, dude, don't do that.
Giants.
Again, I think the Giants are kind of good, low key.
You have faith in Danny Dimes. Most don't. I don't.
Yeah.
Colts.
Colts are fraud. Panic.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson, turnover machine.
Panthers, I mean, we don't say.
Red Rocket, we'll see what happens. But yeah, Bryce Young clearly ain't it.
Ravens, we hitting the panic button.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Rams hitting the panic button.
Yeah, because everyone's fucking hurt. Like, their whole
Jaguars?
team's hurt. Dude, the Jags are dead.
Jags
Dude,
are dead.
Doug
in general,
Peterson,
dead to you.
I don't know what the odds are for the first head coach to be fired. We should probably look that up, but I'm putting money on Doug
It's going to be
Peterson.
Brian Dable.
Maybe,
Brian
but
Dable.
that's just even bad. I think Doug Peterson gets fired before the end of the year.
And last team, 0-2. We hitting the panic button on Cincy yet?
No, because they always start slow in September. It's like a known thing. I'll be scared if they're like 3-6 in like a month, and that's the panic button. But yeah.
All right. Well, tonight's Thursday Night Football.
Yes.
Obviously, we're recording now. We're not going to dive too much into the New England Jets game, but just a quick analysis just so we can post this for later on. Where you at? New England, New York Jets. The spread is 6, 38.5 is the total.
Yeah, I mean, Patriots should have won last week. I don't know. I mean, I know how we lost, but I don't know if I can necessarily blame one person or the coach or whatever. It's just a cacophony of fucking idiot decisions that caused us to lose that game. But yeah, I mean, I feel like they played pretty good for the talent they have in their team. They're definitely going to overachieve, and I think that win total, they're going to go over it, which is not good for me. I put a big bet on the under, so fuck me. But
It's what'd you get it at? Like, what was it 4.5, 5?
4.5, yeah.
4.5, yeah.
Yeah. I don't even want to say how much I put on it. It's an irresponsible amount. But
no team in this game has scored more than 20 points, right? I mean, 30.5 is the total. I think we can say relatively comfortable with the under. Garrett Wilson's got under his receiving yards total every single game so far. Aaron Rodgers, clearly they're asking for him to do a lot more than just be a game manager, just throw the ball, because the defense isn't what it was in prior years.
Yeah.
Run defense looks very porous. Everyone's running through them. Pass defense isn't exactly killing it. I mean, Sauce Gardner is Sauce Gardner, but where's the rest of the fucking secondary, if you ask me?
yeah.
I kind of like the under here, 38.5.
I think the Patriots cover, honestly. I think the Jets win. It's like one of those games where they just, grind us down and win.
This is a field goal game.
Yeah, I think so. Dude, I don't know if we're going to touch on this. We're kind of getting off in a tangent, but the field goals, I think we got to talk about that. We haven't really talked.
Well, yeah, I mean, field goals, every single kicker seems like they're drilling field goals from
what is going
50
on?
plus with just pure consistency.
I got to start betting the overs
I got to start betting
on the field goals.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
All right, let's get into the 1 o'clock slate.
Let's do it.
The real deal. That's why we're all here. We have Denver on the road. Your boy. That's so funny.
They're just a joke franchise. Continue.
We have Denver and Bo Nix on the road against Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield and the Bucs are currently favored -6.5 at home. 40 is the total. Denver coming at plus 240 on the money line. I just want to make a quick. I mean, Bo Nix is the leading rusher on this fucking team.
I know.
9 carries he's had for 60 yards, and that's the leading rusher of the Denver fucking Broncos. If you're trying to tell me that not only they can't run the ball, but in fact, because they cannot run the ball, they cannot pass the ball, that they are going to go drive for drive with this Tampa Bay team who fucking call me the overreactor of the century, but Baker Mayfield fucking MVP at this point, dude. Like,
he's
the guy
balling.
is clearly found his stride. He found his team, found his home. He's got all the weapons. I'm taking Tampa Bay -6.5. Very, very happy and convinced by that. I know a lot of people will be scared off that line. I'm not one of them. Fuck Bo Nix. He's a fucking fraud in every level you could think of in terms of first round draft pick.
So I was talking to Jay Fine before you came in about this, but no team through the first 2 weeks has covered a 6-point spread as a favorite. So nobody -6 and above has covered. And in fact, a lot of those teams have lost up straight up. Obviously, Cincy, Baltimore, shout out the survivor pools out there. I got fucked too, but Bo Nix is a joke. The Broncos are a joke, but because of that stat, I'm going to roll with the Broncos +6.5 just because I'm stupid. I think I'm good at sports betting.
I don't think you're necessarily stupid. This is actually a bad spot for Tampa Bay. They're coming off an emotional high against the Lions, right? They have a look-ahead spot currently in the Eagles next week. I think that they're not really focusing too much on Bo Nix and the fucking Denver Broncos for all the reasons we just talked about, right? I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a bad lean to go +6.5.
Yeah.
I just think that for offensively, if you're in any sort of a shootout, Denver will never be able to keep up.
True. Yeah, so I'm going to take the Broncos +6. Bo Nix, maybe the best football name out of all time, wasted on a bad talent. Just saying. But go ahead.
Fair enough. Chargers on the road against Pittsburgh. This is the close your eye special, in my opinion, or one of a couple.
This is a stinker.
Pittsburgh currently favored -1.5 at home. 36 is the total. -120 is Pittsburgh on the money line. Where are you at?
Yeah. This is a close your eye special. I mean, the total's so low. I feel like that's the number that's in play. I mean, I think 36 is the lowest this week, right? And that's probably the lowest of the NFL season so far this year, I think. Listen, the Chargers kind of look good. Like, Jim Harbaugh has those dudes playing. J.K. Dobbins, out of nowhere, like no legs, is just all of a sudden like an elite running back again, front flipping into the end zone. So, I don't know. I feel like the Chargers will score points, and I feel like the Steelers always find a way to like stay in the game and score points when they have to. So, I kind of like the over here, over 36. I think this is like 21-18 kind of situation. Like, that's the game.
I originally had Pittsburgh highlighted on my sheet. And on the way here, I really was just like pondering this game because, like I said, it was one of the more difficult games to cap, in my opinion. But I think I'm going to have to change and switch up and go with Los Angeles.
Okay.
+1.5. I just think that when it comes down to it, when you have teams that are really similar in a lot of ways, obviously the Watt brothers on both sides of the ball in terms of pass rush, the rest of the defense relatively solid, at least for this first beginning part of the season. Run game, clearly a grinded out run game, not exactly cream of the crop receivers. So what is the thing that's going to separate these two teams, in my opinion? It's the quarterback. I think it's no secret Justin Herbert, in my opinion anyways, some may argue is a better quarterback than Justin Fields. Justin Fields actually looks pretty damn good. I think everyone in Chicago is kind of kicking themselves like, why the fuck did we get rid of this guy?
We'll get to that.
But nonetheless, I mean, if I'm getting my arm twist to pick a team here, I'm picking Los Angeles. +1.5, and like as you had mentioned, J.K. Dobbins, he is the real deal now that he's healthy. I'm gonna
we'll see how long it lasts, but for now,
health is a major concern. But as long as he's healthy, I mean,
he's cramming it down the cram hole. There's no joke.
Yeah, and let's also, because we can't have a podcast without mentioning Mr. Unlimited.
Oh,
he is unlimitedly
benched
on the sidelines, bench, getting petty game balls.
Full uniform, too. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
Inactive, but full uniform.
He's the kind of guy that would show up with the peg leg, fully dressed, ready to go, no matter what, because he's fucking unlimited.
Dude, just wear some sweats for like a normal person, dude. Like, you're not playing. Like, just fucking
It is cringeworthy.
Full uniform helmet. Like, bro, you're inactive.
The bigger question was it full helmet chin strap, or was it? Because if it was full helmet like buckle chin strap, that's next level. That's
psycho.
That's psychotic.
Psychotic.
That's serial killer level.
Yeah, like Mr. Unlimited needs to get checked because
Sierra needs to check Mr. Unlimited.
Dude, something needs to happen with Mr. Unlimited.
Moving on, you like the New York Giants, Mikey Rom. I personally don't. Okay. So we'll see where you're at here in week 3 as they take on Cleveland on the road. Cleveland's currently favored -6.5 at home. 38.5 is the total. Malik Neighbors coming off a absolute ball out fest. I mean, my boy just went off for 10 receptions, 127 yards and a TD. But might I add, out of those 10 receptions, Daniel Jones only had 16 completions.
Hey.
I mean, obviously it was a mission. He got his playmaker at the ball, but you got to think that Cleveland, being a better defense, at least in my opinion, is going to prepare for Malik Neighbors and then let Daniel Jones basically melt and be a shadow and a whatever of himself. I just can't help but think like Cleveland runs away with this. 6.5. Where are you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the other side, like you just said. It's not so much that I think the Giants are good. They're not obviously a good team. They got major issues. Brian Daboll definitely on the hot seat. It's just the Browns. I mean, woof. That offense is a woof. And look, they won last week. I kind of feel like it's more of a fluky game. Deshaun Watson is not good. He is not good.
Do you think they are better off bringing back Joe Flacco?
There's no question. Dude, if they could call Joe Flacco right now and he could get on like Spirit Airlines and get to the building and play this week, they would do it in a second. There's no fucking There's no doubt in my mind. Like, dude, they are probably like, we should have paid Joe Flacco $30 million a year to stay.
Honestly, it's actually pretty bad because I actually looked at stats between Daniel Jones and Deshaun Watson, and they're actually very comparable.
Yeah.
Actually, if I had to give one or the other, the upper hand, actually, Danny Dimes actually,
dude, I'm telling you,
if it's a dick measuring contest, is out dick measuring fucking
dude. The
D-Wad right now.
The Giants are desperate. They need this win for their coach. It seems like they like their coach. Like it's not like they all hate Brian Daboll. At least that's not the vibe I'm getting. So they know that if they go 0-3 and it's terrible, like he's probably out of there like very soon. So I think they're gonna play like 100 runs faster kind of thing. And again, that 6-point thing for the first 2 weeks, it's a little, I don't know. I mean, it's never happened in the NFL before. Like, I just feel like teams aren't covering these bigger spreads. So, yeah, I'm going to take the points. The Browns probably win, but
I actually am actually not even like, I mentioned favoring the Browns. I'm not saying that's my pick. I'm saying if I had to lean one way, that's where I'm going. But I'm actually way more interested in the total at 30.5 going under. I think that,
all right.
Like you mentioned, clearly, both quarterbacks are fucking hot dog shit, white dog shit. Brendan has a full bully of white dog shit right now, and it's full of just Deshaun Watson and Danny Dimes. I think that there is no chance any of these teams go into the 20s. Never mind beyond that. Give me the under.
Okay.
Moving on. Philly, New Orleans. New Orleans favored -2.5 at home, 49.5 is the total. New Orleans is white hot right now.
Yeah,
they are white hot. I think that they come down a little bit. Don't think that they put up a stinker against Philadelphia here, but I don't think that it's going to be necessarily a fucking blowout like they just did to Dallas. I also think, on the other hand, that Philadelphia has underperformed. Clearly, I think, after last week, it showed coming off a very tough loss in Atlanta, which, by the way, and you can see it on fucking our Instagram, I caught Atlanta live before the final drive, money line to win that game. I wish I fucking put more on it. You always wish you put more on it.
Yeah, always.
I caught them at plus 580 or something crazy like that. I only put fucking $10 on it, fucking cash. I wish I put the house. I wish. I am kicking myself, but nice little win.
Did we get a video of Kirk Cousins with chains on after that game? Do we know? Is that out there floating around?
No, I think just the resurfacing of him on the plane, Minnesota Vikings.
Oh,
all iced
Atlanta,
out.
what are you doing? I mean, come on. We're all waiting. But
my T-shirt says, "I would kick a child for a twisted tea." I would kick a child to see Kirk Cousins all iced out again with some fucking nice,
it's Atlanta.
clean chains.
They got the chain. Anyway, I'm sure they'll figure that out. But yeah, for this game, look, the Eagles, it's a crushing loss last week, right? That's a game that you should never lose. Kirk Cousins in prime time on the road, it's fucking Eagles night and ESPN on in national television, Jason Kelce night, all this other bullshit. They should never lose a game like that. They did. Couple things bother me about this Eagles team. One, Nick Sirianni, the coach, it's known that I hate that dude. Didn't address the team after the loss at all. Left it to his players to talk through it. Don't know if I love that, honestly. I get the sense that they're not really a huge fan of his in the building. Number two, the head of security, what's his name?
Oh, God, the big Italian guy.
Yeah. I'm kind of starting to lean, everybody loved that dude. I'm starting to go the other way. I think that it's a little bit too much now. He's getting the commercials. He's getting a lot of camera time. Dude, just kind of back off you're the head of security. I feel like the limelight's kind of getting shined on him a little too much.
It's like the Hawk Tuo girl.
Yes.
It's like the Hawk Tuo girl. The head of security for the Eagles is getting too much clout.
It's too much. It's too much. We get it. It's kind of played its course. It was a good story when it was in the background, but now it's too in my face. All that being said, the Eagles are a good team. The Saints are not as good as they've been playing, I think. Like you said, they come back down to earth. I think the Eagles bounce back here. I'm going to take the +2.5 here. I actually like them money line. I mean, we'll get to that at the end. But, yeah, I think they bounce back here. They're too good of a team talent-wise to underperform so badly 2 weeks in a row. And I think they'd really get on track and kind of remember who they are this week against the Saints.
I am really worried about A.J. Brown being doubtful, probably not going to play.
Yeah. That is bad.
There are so many different levels of surprise to this New Orleans team. Rashid Shaheed
he's electric.
Turned into an X factor, and shame on me for not pulling the plug and just drafting him on every single team in my fantasy drafts, because
maybe a little too high safety when he's on the field. I'm just saying, single line against him ain't working.
Absolute burner. So Philadelphia has to watch out for that. Yeah. But with that being said, I feel like this is the perfect buy low, sell high situation with buying low in Philadelphia, with selling high in New Orleans.
Exactly.
I think that everyone's going to be our New Orleans because they're, like I said, like red hot. I think that Philadelphia, obviously coming off a big loss, has something to prove. I think that they really are looking to save overreaction week 3. They're really looking to figure out in what direction is their team going to go this season. I think this is the game where they kind of get a good grasp of where their season is going to be going.
Agree.
So give me Philadelphia. I think we actually agree on that, which is shocking.
Wow.
We don't typically agree too often. Moving on, we got Houston taking on Minnesota. Minnesota's +2, 46 is the total. I am a believer in Sam Darnold to a certain level. I get it. He has kind of overperformed. I think he will come down to earth a little bit. But with that being said, there's so much offensive firepower around him. We got our boy highlights and touchdowns, Jordan Addison. We got Jay Jeff. We got Aaron Jones, who, the Green Bay Packers have to be kicking themselves that they went with
Josh
Jacobs, in my opinion. Aaron Jones just gives you so much of a different look out of the backfield between being able to run the ball and through the tackles and be able to catch the ball like a receiver. I really like Minnesota +2 here. I think that Houston, for as electric and stacked as their team is, Joe Mixon's a real big question mark in this game. I don't think he plays.
He's going to play.
And if he doesn't play, that changes so much offensively for them. They make them so much more of a one-dimensional team. And this Vikings defense is for real. This Vikings defense is very good, and I think that they have a real shot at not only containing Houston in their three-headed monster wide receiver, but I think they have an opportunity to shut them down. Give me Minnesota +2 and give me them on the money line at +114.
Yeah, if I had to lead the side, I'd probably lean that way. Sam Brown's a good story. Like, I know I kind of was ragging on him at the beginning of this. It's a good story. He revitalized his career. Geno Smith-esque. Hopefully he doesn't have like a weird catchphrase saying after a win that comes up soon. Hopefully he's just kind of like good and leaves it at that. For this game, I'm rooting for fun this game. I'm going over 46. I think there's going to be points. Like you said, the Vikings offenses look great. Texans have that, obviously three-headed monster at wide receiver. Joe Mixon is a concern. Obviously, it makes them a little bit more one-dimensional, but I think they're going to score points. I think the Vikings will score points. And I think, you touched on the defenses or the Vikings defense being kind of like for real. Like there might be a pick six in this game that gets the total. I just feel like there might be a defensive touchdown or a special teams touchdown. So I like the over here. I like the over 46 for this game.
Moving on, we got Green Bay on the road against Tennessee. Tennessee currently favored -2.5. 38 is the total. Green Bay currently +105 on the money line. This obviously is because, they think that Jordan Love isn't going to play, but practice in full pads today. Malik Willis, serviceable last week. I think,
won.
they won. They definitely surprised me. I thought that Indy was going to take that game, and they did not. I'm actually going to catch the line at +2.5 just on the pure chance that Jordan Love plays. I think this turns into more of a pick'em at that point if he does play, which I do think he's going to. So before this line moves, I'm going to jump over the +2.5 because I think even without him playing, they have a real chance of still covering this. Tennessee actually, and I am going to sprinkle on an insane exacta score this week.
Whoa.
Both weeks so far, Tennessee has lost 24-17. Do I hear three-peat? I think so. Give me 24-17. Green Bay, exacta score. Not sure how much I'm going to put on it. Probably like $10, but it's going to be a pretty decent payout.
Yeah,
so,
hey, why not?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, Mikey Rom cursed the Packers. Let's be honest. Jordan Love was my MVP candidate this year. Gets hurt instantly. I mean, that's on me. Sorry, Jordan Love. Sorry, Green Bay. I don't think he's going to play this week. I know he's been practicing. I just think he'll be out for one more week, and we're going to get Malik Willis. And like I said earlier, I think the Titans, as they're 0-2, they've lost by a touchdown each game. They're like two like weird Will Levis plays away from like being 2-0. So I think they're actually overperforming. I think I underestimated them a little bit this year. I think the new coaching staff has managed to change their identity a little bit from Mike Vrabel. I thought it would take a little bit longer for that identity to change. So I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna go with the Titans this week to cover and win. I just don't think Malik Willis can win 2 games. I think he's good for one. They got the one. They crammed it down the cram hole with Josh Jacobs last week, and I think this week he's probably gonna have to throw the ball a little bit more, and that's gonna not be good. So I'm gonna go with the Titans.
Next up, we got Chicago on the road against Indianapolis. Indianapolis coming off a loss, like we just mentioned. to the Green Bay Packers. Currently, their favorite -1.5, 43.5 as a total. Chicago's +100 on the money line. Anthony Richardson so far in 2 weeks, 4 INTs, Mikey Rom. 4 INTs, but in the same breath, should we really be that worried because Chicago cannot move the ball offensively? And you had mentioned before there's a lot to crack about the Chicago team, a.k.a. probably Caleb Williams, I'm assuming. Listen, so why don't you dive into it before I do?
Listen, we're in week 3, okay? Week 3 of this dude's career in the NFL, but people are whispering. It's not just me. Like, if you just look at him and watch him play, this dude does not look comfortable at all. He looks frantic. He's running around in the pocket. He can't do that in the NFL. Like, I think he's trying to make his college-like plays when he was clearly the best athlete on the field, and he's not anymore, which is not a knock to him. He's a very good athlete, but this is the NFL. This is not USC in the Pac-12 playing Arizona State like at 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday. Like, this is the NFL. You can't just be running around fucking throwing bombs to your wide open receivers. Like, I just don't think he's adjusting as quickly to the NFL as people maybe thought or expected of him, which is a little bit unfair to him. You know, obviously it's week 3. He's a rookie, like very high expectations, you know, generational talent, all this. He doesn't look good. He doesn't look good right now. And I don't think he's going to look good anytime this season, really. I think it's going to be a very rough season offensively. All that being said, Anthony Richardson has an elite arm. He reminds me of Jamarcus Russell.
That back throw.
Dude, he can
60 yards just on a frozen rope in the breadbasket.
Unreal throws.
I talked about it last week on the podcast, and I just was like, how fucking unreal was that?
Unreal. But he doesn't take care of the ball. He doesn't. His team is not good enough to overcome those kind of like gunslinger tendencies he has right now. And I think he will work through it as he matures in his career, obviously out all last year. Yeah, both these offenses just stink under. I mean, this is an easy under for me. Under 43.5. Like, I just don't see this as a high-scoring game. I think this is a kind of grind it down, you cram hole kind of game. Under.
So I'm actually taking Indy -1.5, and I'll tell you why. So I actually don't think necessarily it's so much Caleb Williams' fault or that he's struggling because, you know, he's playing or he's not. Yeah, he's not reading everything or it's too fast for him or whatever. I think that he's missed open wide receivers. I mean, let's be honest, right? He's had some really bad throws. But with that being said, he's been under duress like 24/7 of every single game. The offensive line stinks.
Yes.
They are so unbelievably one-dimensional.
Can't run
right now, DeAndre Swift.
Oh, he's dead to me.
Dude, last week,
he's dead to me.
14 carries for 18 yards. What the fuck? How does he still have a job? I love DeAndre Swift. I drafted him. I expected him to be really good. Dude. I expected him to be a pass catching machine out of the back. I'm so worked up. I'm like dyslexic now. Pass catching machine. I thought DeAndre Swift. This guy has become a fucking, you know what the gargoyle statues in the top of a fucking like building from the 1900s? Yeah. That is DeAndre Swift. They're just going to put a fucking gargoyle statue of DeAndre Swift because he is fucking nobody now. He's a piece of shit.
When he gets
tackled, fuck yourself.
When he gets tackled, he looks like a child. He literally looks like he like gets picked up and thrown down. Like it's like he doesn't look good at all.
With that being said, though, I like Indy 1.5. I think that despite all the turnovers, I think that they put up points. They've moved the ball. They're capable of shutting down this Chicago team defensively, you know, in terms of clearly what they've been able to do so far. So that's where I'm at. Moving on, we got the 4 p.m. games. I'm going to crack another tranny fluid before I do. I like trannies. Carolina. Just benched Bryce Young, number 1 overall pick from last year. They're on the road, +5 against Las Vegas. 40 is a total, +190 on the money line. The Red Rocket, our boy Andy Dalton, in the mix. Back in the mix. I also, and I'm not a sappy or I don't want to make this a heartfelt thing, but Adam Thielen, talk about the most stand-up guy in the NFL, in my opinion. I posted this to the story, his response when he was in the locker room, basically protecting his quarterback.
Yeah.
No, not many people do that anymore. And the fact that he went on a limb and really put himself out there to be like, hey, like, you know, it's not all his fault. Just goes to show you there are still good people out there that just aren't looking to throw somebody to the bus because, well, I mean, let's be honest, Bryce Young fucking sucks. But, you know, so I just want to say good for Adam Thielen, stand-up guy. With that being said, this game from what you would have looked at a previous week ago has totally changed.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly, the books don't know how to cap this game because it's an awkward number at 5.
Okay.
With that being said, talk about upset alert. I am all over the Carolina Panthers to win outright at plus 190. Andy Dalton's going to move the ball. He has Adam Thielen. I really do think that Las Vegas gets absolutely fucking punched in the mouth. This game. I think they get punched in the fucking mouth. I think that the Las Vegas run defense is not good. I think they're going to get exposed a little bit against a team that doesn't even really necessarily move the ball while on the ground. But I think that because Las Vegas run defense is not good, in my opinion, I think that it opens up the passing game for Andy Dalton. And I think that Andy Dalton has a fucking huge week. I'm honestly sprinkling props right now. Currently, I already have my phone. I already have my bet slip of Andy Dalton over 300 yards passing.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm not as bullish as you. I am on the Panthers plus 5. I think they get the new quarterback bump, the save your season bump. Like, okay, we made a change. Let's play hard kind of bump situation here.
A lot of bumps.
They might need.
Are they hitting the slopes of those bumps?
Listen, this game.
After a win, they hitting the slopes of those bumps?
If they win a game, they're definitely skiing. I mean, come on.
They hitting the slopes? Hitting the slopes. Confirm.
Listen.
They're hitting the slopes.
I do want to say, though, I feel for Bryce Young. I feel bad. I feel like he hasn't been put in a good situation. He doesn't look settled out there. Like, they needed to make the change. I can't believe in 2024 we're talking about the Red Rocket still playing football. It's honestly great.
Are you surprised, though? Joe Flacco last year.
No, I'm not surprised.
Last year, we're talking about Joe Flacco. Yeah, Joe Flacco clearly just isn't ready to fucking...
Listen, Andy Dalton's 37. 37. He's only 3 years younger than Aaron Rodgers, which is crazy to me. But yeah, I agree with you. I think he's going to hit open receivers. If you watch some of the film on the Panthers, which I know nobody's fucking watching Panthers film, but I see the TikToks come through like of how bad Bryce Young is and how open these receivers are. Andy Dalton will make those throws. They'll move the ball. They'll score points. I like them to cover. I don't think it's going to be a bloodbath blowout like you're saying. But
I'm not seeing them blow up. They're going to punch him in the teeth. I think they win by a touchdown.
Okay.
I think they win by a touchdown. And never mind the money line. I would look to take an alternate line of them like minus like 2.5.
Okay.
And right now, Andy Dalton's current line for passing yards is 210.5. Crushes that, in my opinion. I think that he clears that easy. I mean, I am all over Carolina this week, and shame on me. Pie on my face. Listen, if they shit the bed, if Andy Dalton shits the bed, I will never forgive him. And my bankroll won't forgive me either. But I mean, sometimes you just got to put your nuts on the table and say,
if the Raiders cover, you might have to wear some kind of shirt, a jersey, Raiders jersey or something.
I'll get something made.
Yeah, you're going to have to because you're on them.
Like Las Vegas cucked me or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Miami, Seattle. Oof. Tua is somewhere laid up in a bed with an ice pack in his head.
He needs more than an ice pack.
And we got Skylar Thompson starting this week for Miami. They're on the road against Seattle. Seattle currently favored minus 4.5, 41.5 is a total. Miami catching plus 164 on the money line. Is RIP Tua into the Miami Dolphins season? Do you think Skylar Thompson has a shot in the dark of not only covering this game, but maybe winning? Or you think it's just RIP?
Yeah. Listen, I kind of feel like I have the Patriots stink on the Seahawks. I haven't watched them play last week. Like, they didn't look good. I mean, they had some explosive plays like that blown coverage DK with the long touchdown, but they didn't look great. That being said, I'm going to stay away from the spread here. I'm going total, and I'm going over because it just makes no sense. Like, with everything going on, like Seattle didn't score a lot of points. Tua's out. This total should be like 37. And the fact that it's 41.5, somebody knows something. Maybe Skylar Thompson out there balling with these wide receivers in practice. I don't know. This one smells to me like a rat line. I'm going to go over 41.5. I'm not going to think too much about this one.
The angle that I'm taking is that, I look at what was Miami even with Tua, right? Could they beat this team or cover this line with Tua? And then also, I retract and I say, hey, okay, now with Skylar Thompson. Believe it or not, I don't think they cover this line even with Tua at that point. I mean, if you look at Miami, they are a last-second field goal away from being on that 0-2 list that we had mentioned. They have not been a good team. They have not been a good team, and I think that carries over even more so now to Skylar Thompson being a quarterback. Geno Smith has looked actually pretty good. Shame on me again. This is going to be up there with the Carolina take. If Geno Smith actually, shits himself like he's done so many times for me. But he's looked good enough. Seattle's 2-0. I'm riding the high. Give me the 4.5.
Okay.
Seattle at home. Miami coming off, like I said, a devastating loss in 2. Or maybe they rally around there. Who knows? But I don't think that's enough. San Fran coming off a big loss. -7 favorite currently on the road against Los Angeles Rams. 44.5 is a total. Rams are plus 275. Talk about a lot of juice on the money line. San Fran, no Debo, no CMC. Los Angeles Rams, no Cup, no Puka. I think that when I look, though, at the rest of the teams as a whole, San Fran still just has so much more talent, so much more firepower offensively. They still have Brandon Ayuk. They still have George Kittle. They still, do I say,
pretty good.
Mason?
Yeah, something Mason.
Something Mason in the backfield.
Mr. Mason.
Mr. Mason in the backfield, who's looked very good. Defensively, they still are who they are. Obviously, the Rams, I mean, now they got like Demarcus Robinson and Tutu Atwell as their,
they are banged up.
as their receivers.
That is a sad
Cody
sight.
Parkinson, I'm taking your overs at tight end this week. I mean, you got to take San Fran here -7 and just hope that they don't fuck you, because there's no other way, in my opinion, you can really go.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think we need to overthink this one too much. The Rams are just so fucking banged up on offense. It's unfortunate. You lose your top 2 wide receivers with an aging Matt Stafford and fucking Tutu Atwell fucking running around out there. I mean, against this 49ers defense, it's not going to go well. There's going to be turnovers, probably a defensive touchdown or 2. Yeah, I think the 49ers coming off a loss, they're a well-run organization with a good coach. They're going to come out ready to play and kind of with a point to prove here. I think they easily cover the spread.
Next, we got Detroit on the road against Arizona. Arizona home dogs, Mikey Rom, at +3. 51.5 is a total, +130 in the money line. Both teams have beat the Rams this year, so we can kind of get maybe a rough idea of where both teams are at comparable to who they played. But I don't know if I'm going to go that overboard here. I do like Arizona +3. I think that James Conner is the heart and soul of that offense, pending him stay healthy. I think that so many people overlook James Conner because of his health issues, but he is, in fact, probably one of, if not a top. He's got to be a top 5 running back, in my opinion. I know that might
fantasy-wise he is.
That might cost some ways, but he's physical. He can get into the end zone in the goal line. He also can catch the ball in the backfield. I think that, with Marvin Harrison coming on last week and finally balling out a little bit, I think that that's going to open up the run game as well. Detroit's going to have to respect that over-the-top threat. Obviously, Detroit has so many good things going for him. But, I mean, Amon St. Brown is second fiddle right now, currently in the offense in terms of catching the ball. Jameson Williams is real deal.
Yeah, he's good. He's good at football.
Also, I want to add, even with that being said, having multiple weapons of such caliber, Jared Goff has not looked good. 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions so far, passing the ball through the air. So I know I'm catching Arizona. Like I said before, I like to buy low, sell high. I'm catching them too high here, but I can't help but think that at home, at +3, everyone's going to be looking for a bounce back spot for Detroit, and I just don't think it happens.
Yeah, I don't have the over-under written down. Do you? Do you know what it is?
51.5.
Okay, that's way too high. Yeah, I think like you just said, I think that you just nailed it right there at the end. Arizona is at an all-time high. Obviously with an electric performance last week from Marvin Harrison and Kyler Murray. He's out there running around like a joystick. He looks like, a toddler running, but it doesn't matter. It works. I don't think that they match up good with the Lions. I think that's what it comes down to. The Lions' defensive front is their strong suit. Kyle Murray's not going to be able to run away from Aiden Hutchinson like he did last week. I think, they really excel, the Cardinals do, and Kyle Murray does when he can extend the play, and I don't think they're going to be able to do that. And I think that the Lions are going to be able to contain their offense because of it. And I think Jared Goff gets on track this week. Honestly, I mean, he's playing, he's playing bad, but I think he can bounce back. He has the weapons, like you just said. Jameson Williams is electric. Amon St. Brown, obviously good. Jameer Gibbs, they have the talent on offense. I think they do figure it out this week, and I think they bounce back this week. So I'm going to go with the Lions here, actually, over the Cardinals.
Fair enough. I feel like this is kind of like you could go. There's really no wrong or right answer in this game.
I think the line is perfect.
Oh yeah, it's very sharp.
Yeah.
Moving on to, we'll call, I don't know, how do we call this game, Baltimore, Dallas? It's going to be some sort of like bowl game for them.
Somebody is going to be very upset.
We'll call it someone's going to be very upset game.
Yeah, this is Baltimore. It's going to be blinking red panic button for one of these teams.
It's the panic button game. Yeah, we'll call it the panic button game. Baltimore and Dallas Currently, Baltimore is favored as a road favorite, -1, 48.5 is a total. Currently, Dallas -102 on the money line. Dallas coming off an absolute ass spanking from New Orleans last week. And, Baltimore, not exactly a team to talk about these games. I think like Baltimore's biggest downfall right now is they are so predictable offensively. When Derrick Henry's in the game, they run the ball. When he's out of the game, they're passing the ball. They refuse to pivot and change anything from their scheme, their offense. I really think that for as much as Lamar Jackson complains and hates about taking the ball from under center, shotgun, I think that by him, taking the snap from under center, it changes the whole entire look of the offense. Doesn't necessarily sell the pass or the run every single time they line up. I think that with Derrick Henry in there, if you go on the center, and this is me talking X's and O's from the old high school days, Mikey.
32 blast, baby.
32 blast up the ass.
38 pitch sweep.
Oh, yeah. Rocket sweep.
Oh, fuck. I can fuck up a rocket sweep. I was always the pulling guard on that.
You were the pulling guard?
Oh, yeah.
So you had quick feet.
I got out there.
Mikey quick feets.
Yeah, about 80 pounds ago. Yeah, I was out there fucking running.
So anyways, I would love to see them put fucking Lamar Jackson on a fucking naked bootleg, see how he does. Just little stuff like that. And until they change anything up, I can't trust Baltimore because, like I said, they're way too predictable. I think that Dallas at home is in a position where they're just not going to lose at home. They're not going to lose this game. I don't think that. I just don't think they're going to lose. I just don't. My God, this is a gut.
Yeah,
this is a gut game. Give me Dallas.
This is like the NFL, calling down to the refs kind of situation for me. I think they would rather have the Ravens be 0-3 than the Cowboys.
America's team.
Yeah, I think from a NFL perspective, fucking conspiracy theory, Roger Goodell making the fucking call down there to the refs. I agree with you. I think the Cowboys get it done here at home, and I think the sports talk radio in Baltimore after this week is going to be on fire. I'm sure we're going to get some good clips from them once the Ravens are 0-3. Calling for Lamar's head, calling for Harbaugh's head. I think it's going to be a complete meltdown, and I'm totally here for it. So,
I fucking hate Lamar Jackson. He's on my fantasy. He's on my fantasy team. I actually drafted him for fantasy this year just because at that point I needed a quarterback. But I fucking hate Lamar Jackson. He's the most overrated fucking quarterback in the league. He's not a quarterback. Rewind. Not a quarterback. He's an athlete that just happens to be able to throw the ball occasionally.
He's an MVP though.
Fuck Lamar Jackson.
He's an MVP.
And fuck Baltimore because we're moving on.
All right.
We have Sunday Night Football, Mikey. KC on the road against our boy, primetime Kirk Cousins, coming off a huge win in Philly. But sadly, they're still dogs at home at +3.5. 46.5 is a total, +145 on the money line. KC, nope. Isaiah Pacheco, but is Kareem Hunt the answer? Because that's what they picked up this week. We really don't know who is going to be the running back, to be honest, in all fairness. Samaje Perine, the white dude there.
The white dude.
Carson, the guy they drafted there, the white dude with he looks like a surfer. He's got Carson Steele. Blue Steel.
All right,
wait,
that might
no
change
longer Carson Steele. He is Blue Steel to us.
That might change
on this podcast.
That might change my pick.
Yeah, they got a couple other options here. So I'm not sure how much that's really going to change how much we look at this game, but like I said, Kirk Cousins,
Kirk Cobain's.
Yeah. What's your thought process?
So I wrote the Chiefs down before this podcast, but something in my soul tells me Kirk Cousins at home. I feel like they're gonna start get going now. Atlanta, they're moving the ball. Drake London shooting in the sky. After the fucking touchdown, I'm getting.
Wait, when he shot in the sky, they asked the head coach,
yeah, he said it was a t-shirt gun.
Yeah, t-shirt gun.
All-time spin zone.
T-shirt gun.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I need one of those t-shirt guns, but yeah, I feel in my soul, my little tingly toes, the Falcons gonna get going here. I don't know why. It's probably irrational. But I'm going to go with the Falcons. I feel like they're going to get going.
I think this is the point of the season where the Falcons get hot. They become everything everyone thought they were going to be in terms of offensively. I think that they have a lot of offensive firepower. I think they can keep up with KC if it got down to a shootout. Also, where the fuck is Travis Kelce? Because is he still in Japan? Is he still in fucking Europe somewhere with fucking Taylor Swift?
He's dropping breadsticks on
he's like the Meek Mill to fucking Nicki Minaj world tour. Is that a world tour or your girls tour?
It's a good analogy. Wow.
Am I right?
Pretty good.
Is that a world tour? Is that your world tour, your girls tour? Fucking Travis Kelce, let it go, focus on football, because right now you look like a fucking shell of yourself. You look like a schmuck. And just might I add, Kirk Cousins and Mikey, I did it once last year. I'll do it again.
Right.
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
All right.
Kirk Cousins got his swagger back. Bring out the gold chains. Like I said, I will kick a kid for a twisted tea. I will kick a kid to see Kirk Cousins back.
That's why I asked about the
diamonds
video.
Kurt Cobain's diamonds all on my neck.
That's why I asked about the video, because if there was one, I'm going alternate line, like -5.5 for the Falcons. Like,
I mean, I'm taking the +3.5, but I'm sprinkling the money line.
Okay. All right. I like that.
We got 2 Monday Night Football games, Mikey Rom.
Love that.
I don't know if I like it. It's kind of a little overstimulating, a little too much.
I actually hate it, but keep going.
First one, we got Jacksonville on the road against Buffalo. Also, the sports books don't know how to cap this one because I get it at +5 for Jacksonville. 45.5 is a total, +190 on the money line. But I think that this game, you see Josh Allen turn into like the big brother of T-Law. I think that T-Law isn't that good.
He's not good.
I think that you've seen a Buffalo Bills offense now back-to-back weeks put up points. And then you say to yourself, are they really missing Stephon Diggs? I don't think so. Obviously, James Cook has looked outstanding. He's looked unreal. And I just think that Jags overall as a team is so underwhelming. I think that
they don't really have an
identity.
The
road in Buffalo, it's going to be a hostile environment, prime time. I think that T-Law just fucking melts. And I think that the opposite of Josh Allen, I think that he just fucking Josh Allen anytime score. That's where I'm at. Buffalo -5.
Yeah. Again, I agree with you. I don't think we need to really overthink this one. This line makes no sense, which means we're probably going to get fucked here. But I'm going to roll with the Bills, just like you said. I wonder if T-Law needs to shave his head. Change it up.
Dreads.
Also an option. I don't know. I feel like there's something wrong. Like, it's just not working. Like, you know, the golden child is not golden anymore. And I don't know. Something needs to happen. I don't know if it's a coaching change. I don't know if it's a quarterback change. But
bring back Gardner Minshew. Minshew mania.
Missed it. I bet they wish they had him right now and push him a little bit to like play better. You know. Yeah. I think the Bills are an easy play here.
Moving on, we got our last game of the slate. Washington +7 on the road against Cincinnati. 47 is the total. Excuse me, I'm burping over here. +275 on the money line is Washington. I didn't even write down notes of this game because that's how much I didn't fucking care about this game. I don't care about Joe Burrow. I'm sick of fucking Jamar Chase pretending like he's fucking some fucking badass motherfucker. Guess what, buddy? You're 0-2. Shut your fucking mouth and just play football. Stop worrying about fucking your contract and taking out a $50 million insurance policy to make sure if you get hurt, I mean, I don't want to hear about it anymore. Just go play fucking football.
Yeah.
You're the fucking Cincinnati Bengals. I don't care about how slow you typically start, blah, 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 blah. This is a statement game. If you don't come out and just absolutely blow the fucking doors off this Washington team, who, I mean, I love Jaden Daniels. He's played very well for a rookie quarterback, and then a rookie quarterback you add with no one fucking around him, in my opinion. You know, I got to give the guy credit when credit's due, but there's no reason why Cincinnati should let this Washington team hang around with them at any point. But with that being said, I think they do.
Yeah.
Because of all the fucking drama that's going on. I think that Joe Burrow cursed himself by turning into the real Slim Shady play stand-up with his bleached blonde hair.
I feel like no one's talking about that. I'm glad you brought it up.
Because it's still bleached?
Yes. Nobody said a word. I haven't heard anything anywhere.
Let it go.
Like, what?
We're calling it the bleached curse.
Buddy, what are you doing? What are you
doing?
What are you doing?
Buddy, what are you doing?
Dude, you know you're the quarterback of the fucking...
I'll tell you what he's doing. I'll tell you what he's not doing.
You know you're like a top 10 quarterback. The camera's going to be on you when you take your helmet off. Like, dude, what are you doing?
I'll tell you what he's not doing. He's not covering this line. Washington +7.
I agree 100%. I think Jaden Daniels has played great. The Commanders, the only team ever to win a game, giving up 3 touchdowns and not scoring a single touchdown in the game.
What?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Jesus
Christ. All right.
Put that somewhere. But yeah, Commanders. I mean, come on.
Post-it note on the door.
Yeah.
All right. Final segment here of the podcast. It's been a long one, but it's been a good one.
Yeah.
I think we needed this. It's been a while. Need to start off strong.
Yeah.
Next podcast will be shorter, people. So if you listen to this and you're like, holy shit, finish up already, give me your lock dog tease. Well, here it is. Lock dog tease time. Mikey Rom, who do you got for your first lock?
Yeah, first lock, Panthers +5. Red Rocket gets it done, throws it through a few touchdowns, all is well in the world for a week, and then it'll stink again. But for this week, Panthers +5.
I actually am taking for my first lock the Tampa Bay Bucks -6.5. I think that, again, Tampa Bay has a pretty high-powered offense. I just don't think that Denver at any point, even if they slow them down a little bit, will be able to keep up. Give me the Tampa Bay Bucks -6.5. Who is your dog? Who's barking this week?
Eagles are barking or cawing. I don't know. Yeah, I just think they have a chance to bounce back and win this game. Yeah, Eagles.
I got 3 different dogs, Mikey Rom, because I couldn't decide. And I wasn't going to leave one dog out in the... I don't know. How do I say? One dog out in the doghouse just alone when I brought the other ones in.
Okay, they need a friend.
All right. Give me Carolina money line.
Okay.
Give me Atlanta money line.
Okay.
Give me Arizona money line. The dogs are fucking barking this week. All 3 of them. We got a couple birds.
You gonna parlay them?
I am. I'm way ahead of you, my friend.
No.
Just wait a minute. Bonus lock. What do you got?
Yeah, bonus lock 49ers. I just think that they get the job done.
Boy, Mikey Rom. The world is melting. We agree.
Oh, no.
49 is -7 for the bonus lock.
Oh, no. This is bad.
That could be a very good thing, actually, as a matter of fact. Not like we don't know what we're doing or anything, right? Cheers.
Oh, Lord have mercy. We're fucked.
All right, now tease time. What do you got for a tease?
Yeah, I'm going to go Giants +10. And I'm going to go Lions money line.
All right. I got a +633 teaser. It's only 5 legs as opposed to my normal entire slate. We got Tampa Bay -2.5, Minnesota +4.5, Indy +3.5, Carolina +8.5, and rounding it out, we got Seattle +1.5. That's +633. And just when you think it couldn't get any better, Mikey Rom, it's a buy one, get one today.
Oh, fuck.
It gets better. Today, I have a nice, absolute bankroll builder parlay. We're going to call this one. $10 to win almost $2,500, just $2 shy of $2,500, $2,498, which means the odds are plus 24,885. So we're going to dive in. This is with all my dogs and more included.
All right.
We're taking Tampa Bay money line. We're taking the Browns money line. We're taking the Vikings money line. Packers +2.5. I think they're believers this week. I wasn't going to take the money line. Little insurance policy on them. Panthers money line. Seattle money line. Arizona money line. Falcons and Bills money line. We're cashing this.
That sounds good. It sounds good to me.
I'm cashing this. Andy Dalton's throwing for 1,000 fucking yards this week, and the Carolina Panthers are going to become winners.
Okay. All right.
Well, NFL Week 3 in the books. Any other final thoughts, concerns?
No, long one, but a good one. Yeah, about to go watch the Patriots lose. So,
well, yeah, that's right. Thursday Night Football is on right now. Yeah, I gotta cash my bet.
Yeah,
I had a +120 we gave out, which hopefully everyone tailed. Before we leave, though, let's not forget again this podcast is presented to you by Ballers Like Bets. Go download the Discord app off iTunes. Sorry, iTunes. Apple Store.
In 2010.
Apple.
Google Play.
No, Apple. Apple apps. The App Store.
The App Store.
Yeah, I'm like,
wait,
right? I'm like, wait, what do you call dude? Caveat: two beers. I'm a 2-beer queer now because I haven't drank much over the last 9 months. My wife's been pregnant.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
2 beers gets me going. So, anyways, rewind. Presented to you guys by Ballers Like Bets. Go download the Discord app. Go sign up. $1 a day of access to every plus EV bet, capper, community, everything. Just so much that is going to help you guys build your bankroll and more. So go download that. Sign up today. Yeah, again, great episode. Good to be back. Hopefully we can make this more of a consistent revolving thing.
What's the plan?
Great seeing Jay Fine's beautiful face. That flow.
It's flow. Ponytail
that
soon.
flow is real. I can see why he got married now.
Yeah, I know.
I can see why he got married. All right, well, peace out, everybody. Till next time.
Peace.
It's time. Your triple bogey, long shot parlay, full send degenerates had a place to call